there, how y'all doing? This is Weapons Tech Mac coming to you from deep in the heart of Texas. And today I got something special for you. I've got an M1 Garand. Make sure this baby's safe. It is. I took it out to the range a couple of weeks ago. It's time to clean it up a bit. Of course, the M1 was designed, created by John Garand. But here in the United States, basic name is Garand. This is an excellent battle rifle. It was adopted by the U.S. Army sometime in the late 30s. Of course, most of the battle units didn't get it until 41 or 42. Marines on Guadalcanal, they were still using the 1903 Springfields. Beautiful weapon, though. I've got a 1953 H&R. So this is all late Korean War vintage, but beautiful rifle. It's one of my favorites. I took it from kind of a beat up looking thing and cleaned it up, and she just shoots beautiful, even with my old man eyes. Of course, a Garand, we're talking a lot of Garands were made from the early 40s all the way through the late 50s, I believe. I think we're talking about, well, let me see, I got a few stats here. 5.5 million of these guys were made. And beautiful rifle, weighs about 9.5 pounds. It's got a 24-inch barrel. Overall length is 43.5 inches. Shoots the 30-06. This is a 30-06, although some of them have been rebarreled or redone into 308. But this thing I could shoot all day. It's a beautiful rifle. When I first got it, I was worried about Garand thumb, and so heard my neighbor down the street. He's an old Korean War vet, an Army vet, and he's like wanders down here, comes in the garage, and says, "Listen, boy, this here is a man's rifle. So when you load that sucker in, don't worry about Garand thumb. Load that clip in there, and then pull it back, put the clip in, and then let her go. And you might have to help it, hit it, and then don't be worried about Garand thumb. If you're stupid, you're going to get Garand thumb." All right, so I'm going to kind of move this up a little closer and talk a little bit more about this beautiful rifle. And then I've got to break it down. Got some work to do. And we'll see about throwing some stats your way. I'm not the big stat master, so I'm going to have to use a cheat here with my computer. So let me get to that. All right. So here she is. Beautiful rifle. It takes a 30-06, like I said, and of course it uses these clips. And you load them up. I'll have to bring some out when I do the nuts and bolts and breakdown of this rifle. I've got a bandolero of probably 20 of these loaded up, ready to go, even with the little covers on it. And you know, this battle rifle is ready to go to war, I'll tell you. Got the bayonet, I've got it all ready. And this one, I'd be interested to know the history behind it. It doesn't really look too beat up, too bad. Whether it had been in Korea or not, I mean, 1953, you're pushing it. My next bucket list gun is an M1 carbine. I had one back in the 80s and then stupidly sold it. I picked it up at the pawn shop for $85 and sold it for $250. Thought I'd double my value. Now, heck, M1 carbines go for $1,400. Well, these here go for about $1,200 and up. So anyway, let me kind of give you a run through it. Let me turn this off so it's not too rickety getting over here to look at this thing. All right, so John Garand, a Canadian, is the one who designed this rifle. And man, is it a beauty. This thing is a joy to shoot. I remember a year or so ago going out to the range, and I had my old Mosin Nagant, and I had this, and I fired 5 rounds through the Mosin, and guys, I've got a glass shoulder being in my 60s now, And oh man, after 5 rounds from Mosing, I was whining. I'm like, how can I fire this Garand? It's a 30-06. And so sure enough, I gave her a try, and I could have fired this all day long. Real fun gun to shoot. And so what I'll do is I'll show a little bit of the breakdown of it. And I just redid the stock. I think I'll go ahead and include that in this video. I have a video of me redoing the stock. I do the old easy off oven cleaner and water, and dry it out, sand it down a bit, not too much. And then I use boiled linseed oil. Go for it, baby. Yeah, baby. Here's the M1, torn down, ready to redo it, clean it up. Hope I can put it all back together again. A lot of stuff. Hopefully it'll turn out nice. Yeah. Redo of the M1 stock, and I learned this a long time ago in refinishing stocks, is easy off these old military surplus rifles using easy off oven cleaner. Wet stuff right down. Okay, so next I'll be using some steel wool to scrub that stuff down. This is like the 3rd coat. Steel wool. It's coming off like dark chocolate the first 2. This is not quite so goopy this time. You can still see use this stuff. You definitely need to be outside. Rinse this thing down. I know some of you are going to be like, oh, what are you doing adding water to a gun stock? Well, it works. I'm going to be soaking it in it, but it's going to be quickly rinsed off, wiped. And you can see you're already starting to get a little bit of the grain. We just need to get this easy off of the wood. All right, we put some, of course we sanded them down a bit, put some gun stock stain on it, and then wiped that quite nicely clear. And I think it's gonna look pretty good. Of course, I've got all this over here to sort out and clean, but that's coming. But this is looking pretty good. Next, I'm gonna wipe it down with a rag. See, it's now, let me show you the whole thing because I'm trying to film and wipe at the same time, so I need both hands. But this does the job, it really does. Not as toxic as, say, stripper, and it's much quicker than like crud cutter. Alright, so here they are. Sit here for a bit and dry. And then if there's still stuff that needs to come off, do it again. And like I said, these old surplus rifles, there's enough, whether it's linseed oil or finish soaked into the wood, they're going to be able to handle a little bit of water, but you need to get it off, wipe it completely clean or dry, and then let it sit out. It's a nice day out here, about 70 degrees, so these things are going to dry out pretty quick. Okay, so we have finished the stock, at least with getting the old stuff off, sanding, and then put a little bit of this gun stock stain, then wiped it off good, and I think that's a pretty nice finish there. Now we'll just add some linseed oil. I think we'll be in pretty good shape. And then we're hitting it with the second coat. We'll just rub that stuff in, rub it in. Hitting it with its second coat now. Boiled linseed oil. Now we don't want this to get too shiny, and we'll just rub the stuff in and then wipe her down, let her dry, and then hit it with some fine steel wool and do it all over again. I think I'd like to get about 4 coats on it. That's the route I've chosen for this guy. Looks pretty good. You don't want too much of it. Might be putting a little bit too much on there. Of course, I'll be wiping this baby down in a minute. Cleaning the barrel. Running a swab through this thing. I can't do it single-handed. Not very good anyway. And there it is. Run it in again. Of course, I've put the little M1 Garand bolt stop in there, and so that catches the dirty that comes out when you're cleaning and helps you from getting grand thumb. Other than that, this baby looks pretty good. We've almost got her cleaned up, and then I'll do kind of a final rundown on it. So, all right, let's see how we're looking down there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yep. Yep. So this baby is almost done. Get my bore light out of there. Yeah. All right, so the M1 is all nice and clean, ready to go back in its silicone sock in a desiccated safe. And I don't know when I'll have it out again, but it shoots great. Excellent shooter, very accurate, even for my old man eyes. It's just a beautiful gun to behold. So if you ever get a chance to get an M1 Garand or Garand, however you want to pronounce it, I would, definitely. Such a fun, historic gun to shoot. And just an heirloom. I can take care of it, and this dude's going to last a good long time. And let me go ahead and flip this around. So, M1, a great rifle, one that I'm a proud owner of, and one that has a great historical legacy behind it. And so, I definitely highly recommend M1 Garand. So coming to you from deep in the heart of Texas, go vote. It's just in a couple of days. This is Weapons Tech Mac, and as always, God bless Texas, God bless the United States of America, and long live the Republic.